Alrighty, what is going on, guys? Hope everybody's having a lovely start to the Sunday morning. I know since I'm doing this a little earlier, a lot less people are probably going to join. So if you're here with me, I do appreciate you. We're getting out bright and early. It's 11:10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right now. But yeah, let's start by going over the indices, and then we're gonna go into, I think I have 13 setups for us to take a look at. They honestly are all just appealing to me going into this week. Last week, going off of last week's live stream we did there, we called out some solid setups in there. As you guys saw, the markets or the indices did rip faces to the upside, so a lot of those did end up working out. We got some fresh ones to go along with quite a bullish market we got going on here, in my personal opinion. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we are going to take a look at SPY and QQ. Long call option. We can go over some setups today, and I will go along with, I will like shout out. I'm not gonna I'm not pumping an option, but I will tell you right now, I'll tell you what I would get into if I was to play and I got the opportunity. But you got to not trade the actual options. You got to trade price, and that's the only way to go about things. So we'll talk about when to be risking these in this video. Well, in this live stream. Right here, all right? So you did have QQQ perfectly rejecting off its gap fill, and then you also have it also perfectly rejecting off of the 0.786 fib. If price were to pass this, then I would say forget about shorting this market. We're probably coming all the way back up here to 390. So not all of these are going to be calls on our watch list today, but the vast majority, I think there's only one put, and that's because we're in a bullish market. All right, to me, this weekly chart, guys, all right, I don't care about your biases, all right? I'm not speaking on anyone. I'm just saying right now, all right, your bias, my bias, they don't matter. All right, to me, I'm just looking at this chart. Do you think I want this thing to go straight up without me? No. All right, so if people are saying that I'm saying this with a bias, I don't know where you're coming from, because in reality, I didn't go in all in long down here when I really wanted to start loading longs heavily. I didn't, or at least I started to, and then I took profits real early. And as you see, no, it would have worked perfectly. And but yeah, regardless, guys, when I look at these charts, it really just looks like you just put in a higher major low here on the weekly time frame, and this is on the weekly. This is not the daily, all right? And then you look at the monthly time frame, and you got this big, sick, nasty hammer candlestick on the monthly chart. Unlike everything, all right? SPY, QQ, DIA has it. IWM has a big lower wick right there. You got NVIDIA with a big lower wick right there. Apple, all right? All the big boys, they're not looking bearish. That's just what I'm saying, all right? Where do you often see these, all right? Before reversals. You have a bunch of wicks right here, and then you had some upside there, all right? Does that mean we're about to run to all-time highs on all these tickers? No, but the monthly candlesticks are not bearish by any means, and then you got the weekly charts just also really not looking too bearish to me. It looks like you're just starting to get your bounce. Like GOOG bounced up to a new high today. No, it has no resistance up until 141. Or not today. This was on this week, not today. But as you can see, you got over resistance here. You had some rejection here, but you just literally backtest this bull flag you were in right there. And then yeah, you were completely off the race. Now I think this is on the watch list last week. We just did not get the retest of this 126.72 level, which was the high from over here. I'm off by 2 cents. Oh well. All right, maybe it was the high from over here. Nope, still bugging. All right. But yeah, guys, indices are bullish, and as you guys can see, you do have this ugly double bottom going on right here, and the neckline is at 44522. So if you were to get a retest of that level, all right, that's where I would be trying out calls. All right, so you said, can I suggest the call option? I'm not going to suggest anybody do anything, but I am going to say right now, if we come down to 44522, I will likely do this exact thing. I'll probably pay the Friday expiration, all right, depending how quick this happens, all right? I want a decent amount of time, but I'm not planning on just swinging this, all right? Down here, I was adding 915 calls, all right? So You know, do I wish I just held absolutely everything? Yeah. All right. I wish I held all of my 915 calls that I was loading up down there. They all would have printed. That is a thing. Regardless, all right. You have your neckline of the ugly double bottom at 445.22. If you come down to that level, you could buy the 446 call option for this Friday, and you can ride up any reaction. Now, I'm not saying you should be swinging this back up to a new high, but I am saying the chart is bullish, and you have no reason to get bearish on it. So pullbacks are going to be buying opportunities, at least how I'm looking at things. All right, that is how I'm seeing it. Come over here to QQ, and you got the same thing. All right, you had this breakout right here from this ugly double bottom, but you also have this going on right here on the hourly time frame. All right, guys. So you have this inverse head and shoulders formation. The neckline is at 370.47. So if you do get a pullback off of there, that is where I would 100% be risking along right here. 370.47. You can do so at 372.74. But I think it's more likely that price would come back and revisit 370.47 and then probably get some continuation, considering, again, there's nothing to be bearish about on this chart. You have, like, you know, you've got bulls are back. All right, we started saying bulls are back somewhere over here. I think it was on this day right here. And then that put in this high right here. All right, you also have a low to go off of. You came down. You made this low since it was a higher low. Guess what, guys? Right here. That's the start of your trend change. And then when you came back up after this candlestick, we knew that there was a chance price was going to do that because you had it was shitty follow through. Yes, it was. You see that low volume, but it was follow through, and it showed that sellers were not just continuing this. So we had to be, you know, bearish into resistance here. But once resistance was broken, 370.47, we had the breakout of this inverse head and shoulders formation. We were likely going a lot higher. We went up here to the gap fill at 380.69, right from over there. Rejected off that, and now we could easily just get a break and retest up here. All right, so that's my analysis on the indices before we get into it. But those are actually on our watch list. All right, so those are the two first plays on the watch list is SPY off of 445.22, and then QQQ off of 370.47. All right, so that is that. All right. And how would I go about this thing, guys? I would be looking for an hourly candlestick to long down there, and then you could literally just let me put on a, where's the thing? Hang on. Let me do the short position, the long position. There we go. All right, so you would be doing something like this over on QQ. You'd risk somewhere. I don't know how that candlestick would form, but you're looking for any hammer candlestick, a pin bar candlestick, whatever you're looking for, right? You choose your own signal, but it's likely going to print off of this level if we do get down there. That's where buyers are very likely to step back in. So I would be playing for a move back up to 375. All right. I don't know what you're actually going to be risking down here. You're going to wait and see what kind of candlesticks pop up. But yeah, I would be looking for a move back up to 375 and then probably come back up here to the high. But if you do end up seeing a move off of there, down to here, all right, you're looking somewhere into this golden pocket likely. If it's going to, like, you know, do something like this, like that, to have a lower high and then come back to reverse, all right, it's probably going to happen in a sequence such as this, all right? You're probably going to come back up and revisit one of these retracements. That is what I'd be watching for over there on QQ. Over here on SPY, all right, so you would be doing the same thing. You're looking for an hourly candlestick off of you know, it was time over here to start buying with date and stuff like that. Now I would say you're probably just trying to catch these moves, all right, the shorter term moves. And right now, since we are in the uptrend, you know, pullbacks are going to be the buying opportunity. So if you do come here, look for that bullish candlestick. See this hammer candlestick? That's a perfect example, right? I know it's not doing it off of any level or anything, but it is a perfect example of what to be looking for. See this hammer right here? That's what you're looking for, all right? You're looking for any bullish candlestick off this level that you can then define the low as your risk level. All right, because then with the break under there, you're probably going lower if you take out current lows. All right, so that was the first two, SPY and QQQ. Let's go over to GOOG. That is the next one. And guys, just put down any ticker requests down below if you would like to, you know, like me to review some stuff. All right, so all right, next one is GOOG over here. I do want to point out you broke out to a new high here. So if you do revisit 134.07, that would be a buying opportunity in my personal opinion. All right, again, same thing. You're looking for a candlestick here on the hourly time frame to come back and risk it here. All right, and let's say you get one right here and the low is going to be right there. You're looking for something like this then. All right, you're looking, let's say the low is down here. All right, and you're playing it up to this gap fill. All right, now I don't know what the actual risk reward is going to be because you got to wait for these candlesticks to form. All right, but this is the exact level that I'm looking for. Buyers should step back in 134.07. You did have this rather explosive breakout. You know the level's being respected because you had this touch point right here. You had this rejection as well right there, and then boom, big green candle through it. All right, so we do know that's the level where the battle is taking place. So that's that. All right, next one we're going to be taking a look at is Apple. And Apple is actually the only one here that we have puts, I believe. Yeah, it's the only one I got puts on here. Why? Because Apple's done exactly what we were looking for. All right, let's start here on the daily time frame and let's just take a look at here. Let me move that for now. I'll re-add it after. This is exactly what we were looking for. All right, daily RSI. It's never gone. All right, look at this, guys. This is going back years. Going, okay, not never, but you know, this is going back to 2020 during the COVID crisis, and you still found a major bottom formed down here. You got this big bounce. All right, and that big bounce, that's all I was looking for. All right, we could just look at this. All right, from the bottom to the top, it's almost 20% bounce. Regardless, you even formed your major low when the RSI was chilling down there. All right, as you can see, that has happened every single other time since COVID 2020, so which was March 2020. But yeah, that is exactly what we were looking for, and now has happened. I'm looking for price to stall out here in this golden pocket, and then probably it's going to be retracing back down to its breakout level here at 180.93, which was the high of this candlestick right here. So here's something that I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to fill this gap if you continue on, all right? But anywhere inside this golden pocket, that's where I'm looking for sellers to step in, all right? Maybe you find buyers here, all right? So you got to be paying attention to this one, all right? But I think it's more likely they stall out and you come back and revisit this level, and that is where you probably get something like this, all right? And then you come right back up. Because again, guys, we are bullish. All right, or at least I am. You guys could be whatever you want, but like if you're following along with my TA guys, I'm just telling you guys right now, the charts are undeniably bullish, and if anybody wants to get bearish on it, you know, it's probably just as similar as getting bearish along this whole run. And like you just saw a really big correction. I don't know why. Yes, I can look at BBAI and crowd. Yes, we can. I think crowd was looking interesting, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. If you're looking at the same chart I am right now, all right, and maybe you got indicators that are telling you to get bearish, but like I'm telling you right now, all right, simple price action. You had your pullback, a rather decent pullback right here. You made a higher low compared to over here, and now you know, you almost rebounded the whole way, guys. All right, you're at the 0.786. That means like we almost already retraced the whole move inside of 2 weeks. All right, it was a 3-week decline. That's pretty bullish in my personal opinion. All right, do you see how far you've went? You just had a 20-point bounce over here in SPY. I don't know how anybody's saying this is bearish. Don't let me insult you. All right, just realize this thing's a bullish chart. It really is. So that's why like all of these are really like I'm looking for the long side. Do I think we're gonna have like, you know, another whole on bull run like we've had, you know, right over here, right? I don't think that. I think it's probably going to slow down. All right, you had a $50 move here. The last time you had a pullback, it was just a $13 pullback, and then on top of your on top of your $20 move from here up here, not 30. Okay, you had two $30 moves back to back. The retracement on that was a $13 move. So you had about a 30% retracement, and then you were back off the race for another 30 bucks. All right, guys, we just got a $30 retracement, just about. All right, 26, 27 bucks. All right, are we about to have a $30 move? Yeah, but like I said, if we have the same thing, all right, it's probably going to slow down. Now, if we do the same kind of move here, we're only going to be slightly, you know, taking out this high here. They're probably finding more resistance, but also, I mean, what I point out in the weekly update is you have nothing over here. You have absolutely nothing up until 472, because that's like a ways away from it. That's going, you know, that's a $10 range there that has absolutely nothing holding it back. So, you know, that's going to be a crazy range. We're probably going to see a sick, nasty short squeeze through there. That would probably be, you know, what we're going to get. All right, but back to the charts. All right. So Apple. All right. I'm back over here. I never really finished on that thought right there. Apple, you'd be taking it off the gap fill. Again, you're looking for a bearish candlestick, but if you really want, all right, put the stop above the 0.786 fib, up at 193, we'll call it. All right, and you're looking for a move down to here. So that's your decent risk reward right there. But hey, if you're in this and it's you know, if it gets down here, not a bad idea to start taking the profits off the table, because that is where buyers could potentially be stepping back in. You see, this is your heavily traded zone. You got that touch point, that one right there. Boom, you started stalling out here. So we know sellers are here. You're stalling out right above it. So if you come back into it, it's either you're going to do something like this. You're very likely to get the stall out though, all right? This little move right here, that's what I think is extremely likely. This thing right here, I also think is likely. But, you know, you could either see that path right there, right? Or you could get buyers stepping back in here, and you either come here for a double top, and that was all she wrote, and then a break under here would tell you that, right? Or you're going to, you know, pop your head above here, pull back, probably back test right here, and then you're going to go back onto the high. All right, regardless, I think we're going back up. But you know, we did just see a sick nasty recovery there. All right, let's take a look at the next one, which is AMD. All right, so AMD, this is, again, these are, I'm not looking for swings here. There's actually one, BA. I like dated calls on BA. I liked them last week. I liked them the week before. And you know what, I keep not playing it, but I think I'm going to start playing it. Let's just actually look at that one first. All right, so BA has a very interesting setup going on here. You do have an inverse head and shoulders formation, a basing formation. So I do think, hey, if you break above 230, you are very likely going to be headed all the way up here to 230. It was actually from that. We should change that level. All right, we should. You couldn't really maintain above it, though. I guess that is, yeah, no. We're going to keep that level. That is a respectable level. All right, but above 231, you got nothing until all the way up here at 238. So that is something I want to point out. But yeah, calls above 223.91 is what I wrote down for this one. Why? First of all, this is a respected level over there. This is your heavily traded zone. So if you can get out of it, you're probably going to get at least a decent pop. Like over here, I was liking it above there. We were looking for a move up here to 231. And then the second target for that would be 238, all right? And as of right now, you got your pullback. All right, you can put this on. You're probably at around the 50% retracement. Yeah, literally spot on at the 50% retracement. That's where you had buyers stepping in. You go back out and take out the highs, guys. You literally have nothing in this range right here, all right? It was kind of just, you know, straight down from there, straight up from there, straight down, straight up. All right, so yeah. You get above here, probably coming up here, but just for the move from here up to back here, I think that would be worth it right there. You do a little something like this. All right, let's say you're risking the low of this candlestick, take it right here. The low of that candlestick is right there. Or I would take it, you know, this, what do we got? 221.30 level down here. Is that where this is at? Yeah. So I would be risking right under there, because that's right below support. You might as well do something like that. But then you are risking it for a move back up to here, and then ultimately up here. So I do like dated calls on this one, but you know, weeklies do run pretty crazy on Boeing. All right. But yeah, that is BA. All right. Now let's come back over here to AMD, and let's just point out, can you SMCI looks juicy. Yeah, Zoom. Yeah, I got you. Meta also. Yeah, I like Meta. I do. I want to be trading these higher, these more expensive ones, the Metas, the Teslas, the Nvidia, guys, I've been loving it. All right, Nvidia, every single Friday you can do a Nvidia strangle, and I mean, be quick with taking your profits, but when you see it, like, the premiums get juiced so freaking quick on Fridays. They go from contract is like, I did them last Friday. I did them with $150 each side. I did them this Friday the same exact way, $150 each side. Very quickly, one side went to like 400 to 500 bucks. I was like, oh shit, yeah, hell yeah, we could look at NVIDIA. I'll be playing that bad boy every week. I actually tried it in the middle of the week, and it also worked out. All right, premiums were juiced, and it still worked out and paid at least. I don't remember what it was, but I think it was over 30%. Yeah, I'm gonna get used to trading that guy. All right, I will. All right, but AMD right here, I do want to point out. All right, you have your resistance right here around 112. You can see this where the sellers step in. Above that level, you don't really have anything. All right, so you kind of just slice down here. We could actually look at the hourly time frame here. All right, above this zone really, which is actually 113. You don't have anything until 117.50-ish up here, which is the high of that candlestick. All right, right over here, you can see price couldn't really sustain itself at all above this level, right? So we know there's going to be sellers here at this level. But guess what? There's nothing right here. There's nothing. So what that's going to say for you is you're getting a higher high getting put in, and it's probably going to come back for a higher low, but it's probably going to be something like that. If you see this, all right, picture perfect entry is the break and retest, all right? You see this break, all right? And then you get a retest, probably wouldn't go straight up to there. Maybe it's something like that. You'd probably see it better on the hourly time frame, all right? So it would pop its head up above there, and then it would, pull back. And then very quickly, you probably get a move all the way up there, right? So it would probably look something like this. You start inching up, you get above, pull back, you're consolidating here, perfect entry, boom, all right? And now you have that level to risk. Yeah, Soxel, we could take a look at Soxel. All right, guys, but that is AMD, and it really is going to depend on the candlesticks you see form up here. But let's say you enter right above 113, you're risking 112 for a move all the way up here to 118. All right, there's that. Not the best risk-reward ratio going on there. All right. Oh, you bring it down there. It's not terrible. All right, right there at 113, 3 to 1, buying in at 113, risking just under 112. And then, yeah, going for a move all the way up there. All right, so that is AMD. Yeah, guys, we'll get to all the ticker requests once we're done with these. I'll run through these quick. All right, RIVN. All right, so RIVN is a setup I really like here on, what was it seeing? On the monthly and the weekly time frame, dude. This looks sexy, all right? I don't know if I'm going to play this because I got burned last time I played RIVN. So, yeah, as you see, guys, you have one leg up. You pull back to the breakout level. It was a perfect break and retest. I got the zone a little wrong, you can see. Right there. Yeah, that looks pretty perfect right there. Buyers are stepping up back up. That's what I want to point out. So just like this big green candlestick over here, all right, right above, right at the perfect spot. You had the breakout from this level over here, 1575, which was actually 1580. Regardless, you had the breakout. So the big green candle, you had increasing volume to support that. And then the next one was a massive 50% candlestick. So this is on the weekly chart, perfect break and retest. All right. Or if you want to look at this as a handle, all right, you have, all right, my line's off. All right. What do you also have on the chart? You have the inverse head and shoulders on this chart. All right, which it's a sexy one because you have the right shoulder being a higher low, all right, than over here. So it's not just like, something like that, all right? It's like showing you already have a trend change in the works, like a full-on trend change, right? All you need to do is a break above here, all right, and you should have no problem getting back up to the top of this range up here, which is 35 all the way up to 40 bucks. And that is quite a ways away from right over here. So that would be was that $8 that you can trade with. You're probably not going to get much resistance here if you start breaking out. Regardless, guys, I think it's an interesting setup to keep on your radar. I like that you're getting a lot of buyers stepping in right here on, like, literally this is perfect, guys. You got back into the heavily traded zone here, your breakout level, and that's where price started stalling out for a few weeks. So, like, I like dated contracts here. All right, I would do the October 20 expiration. I kind of like it over here. I'm just letting you guys know, putting this on your radar. All right, but even on the daily time frame, what I like here, all right, this is how I would be playing it. I would be playing at 21.47. So that was your breakout level, the high of this candlestick right here. All right, if you can pull back to it, that is where you're going to find a candlestick, probably a bullish candlestick coming right off of there. And you can even, you know, scale it down to the hourly time frame, pay attention for a hammer candlestick like this one to long over here. All right, or any of these with lower wicks on it, even a doji just off this this level right here on the daily time frame. That is what I'm looking for. And then I'm looking for a move past this high, probably start coming back up to yeah, probably start finding resistance right around here. You can see a lot of wicks going into that level right there, a lot of closes. Well, you got one close, two close, or opens and closes. All right, so I mean, ultimately, guys, yeah, if you're buying over here, I'm playing for a move up to here. What would let's just see how that would be looking there. All right, let's see the wick. Let's say the wick comes all the way down here. You're looking for a move up there. There's your play right there. All right. In terms of options, guys, all right, October 25 strike. Off the top of my head, it'll probably be like 150 bucks if you're getting all the way back down here. Could be cheaper than that. All right, but yeah, that is what I'd play over here on Rivian. All right, next one is NIO. NIO is back on the radar. NIO ain't looking bad at all. I do want to point that one out. All right, so calls above 1135 over here on NIO. What really sparked my interest here was this weekly time frame. What the heck is this, guys? This looks pretty bullish. All right, you have a big ass breakout going on over here. You start pulling back. It's off way less volume than the breakout candle right here. All right, so, you know, right off the bat, that is a good look. And then you have this volume spike over here on this big ass hammer candlestick slash dragonfly doji. So like bullish candlestick here on the weekly time frame. How's the monthly chart looking? All right, it's a big old mess. It is a big old mess, but I want to point out, all right, bunch of consolidation here. You popped up, so you're finally like out of this small consolidation that's been going on here on the monthly time frame. But I really like this weekly chart. All right, so like above here, guys, you see this is literally where sellers started stepping in. Above here, you're gonna have nothing all the way up into 1240 right there. So let's just put that on there, and from there, guys, that is about a 10% move. So 9% move there. All right, that is what I would be playing it for. But above there, you would have a second target as 1403. All right, so you could be literally keeping something very tight. Maybe you see something on the hourly chart, a break and retest probably. You could see, guys, this level here being respect. You got this rejection right here. You got that over there. All right, get that bounce, and boom, it's literally all coming back from the high over there. All right, so if you can get above here, let's say it goes down like this. All right, so you're getting something like that. All right, and you literally have, let's see if we could draw a candlestick right here. All right. There you go. There's your hammer, guys. that is your hammer candlestick, all right? That's it. You're risking right under there. All right, you're risking for a move up to here, or you're playing it for a move up to there, all right? If you do get up here, I would be starting to scale out. You see right there. All right, let's say you got 3 to 5 contracts. Let's say you have 3 contracts. Take 2 out right here. Let 1 ride. You have 5 contracts. Take 2 or 3 out right here. Let the rest ride. All right, this I'd be using the 915 expiration. All right, you don't need to be going too far out. You're just riding this little reversal going on right here. There you go. All right, what strike would I use? I would probably play in the money, just because those will be moving nice, and they might not be gaining as much as the others, but they will be moving nice, and there should be plenty of liquidity right there. All right, so that was NIO. Next one will be PayPal. All right, so let's just, yeah, what is up, Space Pete? What is up? It is definitely a little early. Woke up earlier at like 9 something, and I was like, you know, I might as well let's just get this over with. I'm gonna go and spend the whole day with my pups. We're gonna go on a really extra long walk today, so I was like, you know, I want to knock this out before I go, and you know, but yeah, I mean, I think I was thinking we'd get different people in here. All right, probably the same people, but I'll probably get a different crowd of, you know, the early birds in here in the chat. So I was like, oh, you know, this will be fun. But yeah, guys, that one was NIO. The next one I think we said was PayPal, right? PayPal. Yeah, calls above 63.44. Now, why is that? You can see right there. All right, this was the high of this candlestick right here. This is where your sellers are stepping in. You got sellers stepping in there, sellers stepping in there, sellers right here. That pushed you into that day. and now you recovered and you closed just above that level, right? So I would like to see a break and retest of that level, but as long as you're above that level, I'd say calls are valid because you do not have a lot going on here until much higher in the price. All right, I would be playing short-term calls here. I would not be doing like a swing. I think the time to swing was literally at the bottom of this. I didn't play it, but I was posting screenshots over in the Discord of you're coming into the bottom of this massive falling wedge you got going on here on the weekly time frame. So you did end up hitting that. I would say the time to buy dated calls and just load up was down here. All right, and like now you are like how off of the lows you are, $6 right there. All right, so like, and honestly right here, actually I do want to point out, like, you can also see this is like this spot right here. If as long as you're not in this zone, this is your heavily traded zone. So if you're over there, you're probably gonna have your moves be a lot quicker than just stalling out in these zones. But yeah, until you recover this, which you are starting to recover it now, it could have literally just been a break and retest of the previous lows over here. But as you see, we're recovering. That's why we're interested in the long side here. But yeah, I like the short-term calls going on over here. You have this inverse head and shoulders pattern going on. So, I mean, clear as day, guys. I would say PayPal's chart is becoming bullish. So, just like you were able to play calls over here continuously, I think that's what we are entering back into. I think we are going to get a shot at these again, these little moves up. You see how you had that move up? That could very well just be this before you have some consolidation. And if you do that and you consolidate here, there you go. You just keep doing it exactly like we were over here, right? So there's that. I do like PayPal above that level. So let's say you had, let's just come down here, right? Let's say you end up coming back, retesting this level. So you do a little break and retest, right? You have an hourly candlestick going on here. Let's say the low is over here, right? You're playing for a move up to here. Right there. I'm not going to say it's going to be the biggest move, but I am going to tell you, all right, if you are playing the shorter dated contracts like weeklies or next week's, no, you'd still be able to pull probably around 100% of weeklies right there. All right, but above there, I am looking for almost $65 to be taken out. The high of this, 64.75. And then also, I expect price is going to come and tick on up to $67, which is your gap resistance. If you can get above here, that's when we're probably also going to be taking a look at calls on this thing, because you have absolutely nothing going on in here. Look, you shredded through it, you shredded down through it. All right, so like from $67 all the way up to $72.50 right here, you have absolutely nothing holding you back. So you're probably going to see a very quick move up there, and that is something that we should be paying attention to. I'm actually gonna alert this level right here just so we know about it whenever the time comes. Probably going to be in the next few weeks. All right, next one we're paying attention to is Disney. All right, you got Disney, we have Zom talk about Upstart, Nike. All right, Diz has been getting absolutely slaughtered here. All right, everything else has gone on a tear. Disney just printed a hammer candlestick, and the RSI is now very close to 30. All right, you do have earnings that are quite a bit of ways away, so we won't have to worry about any of that, any juicy premiums. But I do want to point out, I think this thing, all right, above here, if you can, like, if it could show you that it's basing and it's starting to make, a smaller time frame trend change here on the hourly time frame, I think it should be on a radar. So I think it's had a lot of downside. I don't exactly, it's probably been something to do with the fundamentals if it hasn't been rallying with the overall market here. But regardless, you have a hammer candlestick printing on Friday. It's off of heavy volume. I don't know why the thing just, gapped down $2 or whatever. I have no idea. All right. Again, I'm guessing something fundamental, but I do think it's likely time that Disney is going to start taking back up. So we should be paying attention to. What I don't like is this increasing sell volume going on here. That's not the best sign. You want to see decreasing sell volume before you get your pump, like right before you get it. So we could, see some more downside here on Disney, but I will be paying attention to it over 82.23. Let me also put an alert on there as well. There we go. All right, so that is that. That is Disney. And where am I liking it up to? If you can break 82.23, I like it all the way up to 84.50. So it would go something a little like this. All right, you get above there. Again, you're doing a candlestick or you're putting your stop somewhere right underneath that level. You don't want it on the level because, that would be pretty dumb, because you're probably going to see yourself get stopped out, and then you're like, oh crap, it went in my direction. Well, of course, break and retest. It's like, the most common thing we see in the market. All right, but you're looking for something like that. Again, not the most on the upside, but if you are playing just, not a swing trade, just something as a, a short-term mover here, back up to the next resistance, then I think you'll do pretty well in shorter dated calls. All right, there's that. Disney. Next one we have to talk about is ZOM. Oh, ZOM is actually the only other one we have puts. All right, we had Apple, then we have ZOM. ZOM has gone on an absolute tear right here. You see you broke out from this consolidation that took, I want to say 2 months here. Yeah, 3 months. So 3 months of consolidation did lead to a break and a retest of that consolidation pattern here. All right, you can really align with that touch point right there. There you go. All right. But yeah, you had the break and retest with a flag forming right here on the retest. So we were looking for higher prices. We have now hit. All right. Well, we're about to hit at least like what I was paying attention to. This was the final price target when we broke down over here. All right. I was looking for a move up to 110.84 and then a move all the way up here to the 114.45 gap fill. We are about to do so, and you have not pulled back quite some time. I will point out right now, all right, it's a counter trend trade if you are taking puts off of that gap fill. But I do want to point out up here, this is where you have your heavily traded zone. So what are we looking at, guys? We're looking at sellers stepping right here, at least for a slight move down. Do I know how big that move down? No, I have no idea. It's probably going to back test here 110.84. Or it's going to come and back test the high of this candlestick, which is 112.07. All right, so you're not looking for too much here. All right, but you are looking for this level right here. All right, what was that? 07. There we go. 112. Yeah, 112.07. All right, guys. So you're looking for some sort of bearish candlestick to form up here, probably on the hourly time frame. All right, maybe it's a daily spinning top that forms up here, and you're looking for a move all the way down here. All right, that is that. Why? Because this is where you sold off from over here. If a lot of people are still holding the bag over here thinking that was a bull flag and then they sold down, they held the bag this whole time, do you not think a lot of people are going to be sitting up here being like, oh crap, I'm at break even, let me get out, let me get out. All right, so that's the whole psychology behind this trade. All right, so that was ZOM. Let's take a look at Upstart. Alrighty, Upstart is basing. We've been paying attention to Upstart for a while. We actually had him on the watch list last week. He did end up performing quite well here. You can see he had like over a 10% run. But I do want to point out, you're going to sell as clear as day here. You got these upper wicks. You also have these lower wicks, but the upper wicks are right here at a an area of structure. Come here to the hourly time frame. I do want to point out, you got this little guy going on right here. All right, so very little inverse head and shoulders. And then you also have left shoulder, this head, this right shoulder. So a lot of bullish structure going on here. I think we're very likely going to see this thing break upwards above 34.51. I am looking for a move up here to 35.71. And then above there, guys, you have absolutely nothing. So that's when you have 3 calls. All right, you cut 2. You got 1 runner just to literally go this whole candlestick right here. The low of this candlestick was all the way down at 51.42. All right, high of this, what am I looking at? Oh, I'm off. That is not what I was paying attention to right here. Okay, all right, so right here, all right, guys, above 34.51, you really got nothing. That's where sellers stepped in right here. So if you get above here, right, that is when you're looking for some upside. We could take off the last week's one. All right, you're looking for some upside. Why? Because you have from $36 right here all the way up to $43, $44 up here. That is, a lot of upside to be playing with. I know these contracts aren't too expensive either. So, yeah, if you see a couple dollar move in one day, all right, guys, it's putting hundreds of dollars onto your contracts since the premiums aren't juiced. All right, and to get it on the ground floor, guys, you could have gotten in over here with some dated calls. All right, or you're looking to play the momentum in the short term with a break above here. And then as confirmation, you want to see 35.71 to get broken. It's the high of this candlestick right here. And above there, you have absolutely nothing. All right, I'm talking absolutely nothing. So that is, something that I would be paying attention to. All right, I personally would. All right, but you would do something like that. All right, and you were playing, yes, for a move up there. Maybe you want to take some profits off the table, but ultimately, guys, there's nothing in here. So I would you know, if you want, keep it on your radar. I'm going to be paying attention to this thing. And above here, it's free game. This whole candlestick, free game. All right, so that was Upstart. Let's take a look at Nike. All right, guys, so Nike is one we also called out last week. Nike ended up breaking up early to start the week. You actually capped above the level we were paying attention to, 99.19. You came back, you can see on the hourly time frame, you retested that, you got a double bottom, you broke right here above the double bottom, you back tested that double bottom, and then you went off to the two levels that we were looking at as price targets, which was 173 and then 102.63. Now you are flagging. Because you are flagging, if you break up, I'm going to say you got nothing over here all the way up until, think of the high of this one. Yeah, 104.84. All right. Why are we not using this big red candle as a touch point? All right. Because you literally gapped up and then sold off, the whole candlestick right here. All right. So, yeah, we're using this bad boy right here because that is, we didn't have a massive gap up. All right, because overnight. All right, regardless, that's how I do my levels. I do them towards the most touch points, not just because they're there. I don't know why I said that, but yeah, guys, on a smaller chart right here on the 15-minute chart, you can actually see you got this inverse head and shoulders formation. So again, bull structure inside of already bull structure, this bull flag, and then you also, you have these higher highs and higher lows going on. So I would assume you're probably going to continue this uptrend. On the daily chart, we were pointing out, just like Apple over there, when the RSI gets to certain places, it has these big bounces. All right, your RSI got real low here. All right, let's see. The low of this was at 21, I think. Yeah, 21.54. All right, guys, when it's visited this spot, this is where your major bottoms get put in. So we were saying we liked dated calls over here on Nike. Congrats to anybody who ended up playing that. We are looking for more upside over 102.63. Is that what yeah, 102.96. Where is that? Why did I write that on here? Hold up, guys. Let me just look at this. Oh, I don't have the level here. Oh, it's this candlestick right here. All right. It's got to be one of these. All right. Regardless, guys, over 103. That is the level we're going to be paying attention to. It's actually this level right here at literally right here, or right here, the high of this. I'll use, yeah, all right, 102.94. I got my levels wrong on that one. My apologies. There we go. All right, but above there, guys, you have absolutely nothing. So you'd be breaking out. You'd get the safest entry from this. Well, the safest entry is going to be a retest of this, so you're going to be looking for something like that. There you go. You get a hammer candlestick, doji candlestick, anything going on down there to suggest buyers are stepping back in. And then you're playing for a move all the way up there. All right, so you're really looking for this. Find a candlestick to long over there. Maybe you just like, hey, just have it 40 cents down right there. Looking for a move up there. There's your solid risk to reward. Boom. That was Nike. All right, Square. So Square was one we actually took a look at last week. You did break above this, and I like what I'm seeing so far. All right, you have here on the hourly time frame, you can see, all right, you got your head above it over here. Get sucked back down. All right, head above it again. You got sucked back down. What happened here? You went way above it, and now you have a higher low going on the hourly time frame that is taking place right here at the level we were paying attention to, right here at 58. All right, I also want to point out, a little skewed here, all right, but you do have an inverse head and shoulders formation, and the right shoulder is making a higher low compared to over here. And then if you break out from that, if you break this level right here, that is when you were looking at nothing till all the way up here at 60 bucks. All right, guys, so not a like there is a setup here going on, but I would pick a candlestick on the hourly chart to long off of $58, and from there, all right, take the profit as you see the profit. Let's just have a thing going on right here. All right, clear as day. You were basing over here, so I do think there's going to be more upside. Does it stall out at 60 bucks, or is it going to stall up here at 62? I have absolutely no idea. All right, but these are the levels that I would be paying attention to. If you are long and down here and using this little zone here as your stop, those are heavily traded zone. Or if you're just doing it off an hourly candlestick and maybe your stop is like going to be right here, and then you can literally just have extreme risk reward ratio going on here, whatever you choose. All right, but like just before anything happens, this is what I am looking at right here. Move up to 60.28. all right, which is actually like, you know, the high of this candlestick is 60.36. So let's just change that real quick. That is what we are paying attention to. And ultimately, guys, I think it's probably going to start going on a tear. If you can reclaim 62 bucks, which was the low over here. All right. The low was actually 61.65. I got that level wrong. If you reclaim that level, all right, and then you could break through over here, which is right around 65 bucks. So you got nothing until this gap fill all the way up here at 71.50. So I do think Square can start making a comeback. All right. That's just my opinion. Keep it on your radar. All right. Moving on to D King. All right. D King. All right. And then we got one that we were watching last week, and it was on the watch list. Yeah, we'll talk about it right after this. All right. So D King, I like what's going on here. All right. You broke out. You went from all the way down here. So this is actually also on last week's watch list, but you kind of just started, you know, picking up the whole entire week there. All right. Yeah, it was right over here. All right. You didn't end up coming down and revisiting 25.23, which was the open from over here, or the close. That's what I was looking at. It was a support play going on here. Regardless, now you have broken up. This was your previous high. You now have a higher high. And I like what I'm seeing on the hourly time from here. You're literally breaking and retesting this. All right. So you can look at it as a cup and handle. You can look at this as inverse head and shoulders formation going on here. And that would be your neckline, something like that. All right. Regardless, guys, I like the setup. You doing a, like, regardless of what I just pointed out, you got a break and retest going off the absolute perfect level right here. If you see a break above the high here, which is, was that 30.50. So if you see a break above 30.50, you got nothing until 31.50. So that is what I am paying attention to right here. But what I really would just long is being right here at the break and retest. All right. Like you can even long this candlestick right here and have your stop right underneath it. And you're looking for a move up there. Sexy risk to reward ratio. You're going with $2 of upside. This is another one where the premiums, just like Upstart, are not going to be juiced at all. They're going to be cheap. So, you know, right there, you know, you're playing weeklies. That's a couple 100%. You're playing a week out. That's still probably a couple 100%. So yeah, you're not looking for a swing over here on D King, but you are looking for a short-term move. All right, the last one we are going to take a look at is going to be Oxy. All right, so Oxy was something that was on our radar last week, and now, as you see, it has broken above where we were paying attention to. All right, you get this level going on right here, 62.37. That was calls above 62.37. That was what we put on the watch list last week. All right, early on in the week, you did break above it. All right, it was a failed attempt right here. You didn't get that break and retest. Over here, you got the perfect break and retest. All right, so if you long this, you long down this candlestick and use the right here, the low of that candlestick, that hammer right there as your stop, you would have been looking for a move like that. All right, guys, and you really had nothing above there all the way up until right here. All right, so I know price didn't get up there. It's likely heading on up there this week, though. All right, so this is not one with a specific setup that we're watching. That was, we had a setup to be watching last week. Now we do not. I'm going to point out, all right, all dips are going to be buying opportunities. That is what I'm going to say right now. You're already ticking on up to the high. Now, if you come here and you don't take out this high right here, let's say you stall here, and you come here, you take out the low, then, yeah, we're probably going to see these prices right here. But in reality, guys, all right, that guy Warren Buffett just increased his stake over here on Oxy. And yeah, I don't know what he's seeing, but hey, I've been following along with Warren Buffett in this thing ever since he caused this. I think it was literally over here. He caused his stock to go absolutely bananas, and it just kind of stayed just at high prices. All right. So I don't think this thing's going anywhere. I'm going to say what I said last week. I like this thing for opening a swing trade, for starting a longer dated position. And then also, I liked in the short term, just above that level, 62.37. You can see right here, you got nothing up until 65 bucks, almost 66 bucks. You got this zone being heavily traded right here. That was your supply zone. So if you do come up here, I expect, sellers to be there. But if you break out above there, that is when things get pretty juicy. And I think things are probably going to get juicy on this name right here. I think they probably are. All right. They could do something like that if you start ticking up above here. And if you have another day like yesterday, or not yesterday, on Friday, All right, yeah, you're gonna get up there on, come Monday. All right, so that's just that's a ticker. I would just say keep on your radar here, see what happens with it. If you see dips, use them as buying opportunities. All right, I don't think this ticker's going anywhere. I think you can do very well, buying real dated calls on this name and just swinging it back and forth. Not to the short side, just keep doing it to the long side. All right, now let's look at these ticker requests. All right, my brother, can we look at VRNT? Damn right, we could look at VRNT. You guys checked your USD yet? No, we did not. FTCH. Go early. All good. Thanks for the TA. Can you please look at Tesla, D-King, AMD? AMD and D-King were already on there, but let me just quickly look at those just real quick for you. D-King, you got above here. You did on the hourly time frame, you got a break and retest going. You got clear as day buyers stepping up here. You got this hammer candlestick. You got these wicks right here. All right, clear as day. This is where buyers are stepping up from. All right, so that's what you're paying attention to. To risk, this level is what you're risking, 29.48. Above there, I like it all the way up to the 31.56 gap, though. So there's that. All right. Let's look at AMD now. That is also one that was on the watch list. AMD looks real sexy. That is one that we were paying attention to down here. That was on the watch list literally down here. Did end up getting that. All right, so I just want to point out things have ran quite a bit here. So now the setup has changed. Now you're playing for a breakout. All right, over here was a support play. Now you're playing for a complete breakout of this zone right here, this level. All right, 112 to 113. SMCI, I got you. I'm going to just go down the list. I'll start at the top. I just wanted to cover these things right here, all right? But you're looking for a breakout from this massive falling wedge here, bull flag, whatever you want to call it. It's such a bull structure I'm looking at right here. You can see it clear as day on the weekly chart too, guys. This thing looks beyond sexy. Are we about to see something like this go down? Nvidia's about to go to like $600. It's like, is AMD gonna be the one in charge now, and Nvidia's taking the back seat, but he's gonna go with them? I don't know. All right, AMD to $200 maybe. No idea, but I think AMD has a solid shot. If you break out from this pattern, guys, I think say you break these highs, I think we're coming all the way back up here. I think we're coming back up to $160. All right, so this is one I would definitely keep on the radar. I think it's looking real sexy. You see this, you had this falling wedge going on over here. Not as big as over here, but like that's what I'm getting at, guys. You get these flagging patterns, probably going to get some big upside from them. So yeah, AMD's one I'd definitely be watching. All right, Tesla, guys, that was one on the watch list last week. All right, you did end up breaking above this level here at 240.70. Let me just show on the hourly time frame. Your boy got freaking faked out over here. All right, boy, was I pissed on this one. All right, guys. Talking, I think the contract I bought was 240, maybe it was 260, I'm not sure. All right, by the end of the week, not by the end of the week, by freaking Wednesday, all right, the contract, it was over $1,000 freaking dollars. All right, what did I do? I sold that around like $200 on the rebound. I was pissed, all right, because you see what's going on over here. But in reality, guys, you literally just had a break and retest. So we were playing off of this bull flag going on over here. All right, that is why it was on the watch list. All right, you had that going on right there. Look at this, picture perfect. All right, like straight up. It's okay, not perfect, but breakout, break above our important level right here too, 240.70. That was the level we were paying attention to as well. Came back for the retest. Boom, it got back above the level that we were saying, like, hey, that's where buyers step in, because that's like proven that this is your base and you're going up. You trend change. All right. So that was the level to be paying attention to. Boy, did it freaking just go straight up to the next resistances from there. All right, guys, you got this going on. First day, break, retest. All right, and then you went on into find sellers here at the zone here. You can get above the zone, which I don't think is just going to be easy, but I do want to point out where you are right now. Back at 245, the low of this candlestick was at 242-ish. All right. 240.70 is where you broke out from. So is it just doing like a daily time frame? You getting a break and retest here of this level? Maybe. All right, just want to point that out. Very, very much so maybe here. All right, but that is really all that I'd be watching for on Tesla. All right, maybe you start getting some sellers stepping in. We get a deeper retracement. We did just get a filthy move going on here. All right, maybe you find buyers going on right there, but I think we're probably going to start inching up towards the golden pocket here. which still has a ways to go. All right, so that's 265, we'll call it, to 281. That is where you're paying attention to our Tesla. Now, we are at the 0.5 retracement. That's where you find sellers. So, I mean, we could come down here, but like if you're coming down here, look for buyers here in this golden pocket, 230 to 223. And then look for a move back up to here. If you take out the high, coming into this golden pocket. So, I mean, I think movement is limited here on Tesla, but that is exactly how I'd be looking at it. Look for the smaller setups like we were paying attention to last week. All right, there's that. Now let's go over all of these, all right? Could you look at BBAI? All right, BBAI. Yeah, I could look at that. Just to play that bad boy. Glad I stopped playing that bad boy. Freaking screw this guy. All right, I'm just going to let you know. This thing ain't going nowhere without that AI trend. You see what caused this massive run here? All right, if you think it was anything besides the AI trend, you're wrong. Over here, short squeeze. I remember it. It was BBAI and SST. Look at SST. That was one that your boy did some AMC type numbers on. All right. I wish I just held on to that money. Yeah. I definitely do. I definitely do. I remember some crazy money coming out of this bad boy. Yeah, look at this thing. All right. Talking to, yeah, I bought in. I had like the $16 calls. Freaking thing runs to $38 the next day. I was shitting my pants. I was like, what the heck? But guys, these are the plays that remind you that, yo, they're the AMC type of gains. They're actually possible. They actually, like, you know, they come. But here's the thing: as you go on, you realize you can't safely win big off these things because you never know which one's going to actually do it. But yeah, BBAI, guys, that was one with like a super small float or something like that, and it was heavily shorted, and that's why you ended up getting this big squeeze over here. I also played this thing. Came from the dust over there. All right, I didn't play that one. I got in on that rebound. But yeah, I'm just gonna point out, guys, this is the AI trend right here. This was your short squeeze, like what was these? IPOs? No, these aren't IPOs. They're done a weird way where the float always gets messed up. So they're like are very easily manipulated. But there was a trend going on. That's why I just showed you the SST thing. Well, SST did it when this was happening. That was the trend at the time. So like you're gonna need a new trend that involves BBAI to see this thing not just keep dying. I'm just pointing that out. All right, like it's probably going absolutely nowhere. If you are trying to play the AI trend, I would play specifically AI, NVIDIA. AMD's not really in there, but it'll move with them. But I would say NVIDIA and AI, those tickers, I would really just be focusing on NVIDIA. Yes, it's expensive. But, you know, I'm going to say out of all the AI tickers, out of all the chip tickers, cleanest moves are over here on NVIDIA. Very clean. All right, very clean. You see where buyers are stepping in right here? Right where they need to be stepping in. They're trying to hold the line here. Underneath here, you got absolutely nothing. I got that zone wrong. You got absolutely nothing till all the way down here at 470. So, guys, if you're going to be playing NVIDIA, guys, puts under 380 all the way down to 370. That's Henry's play over there. I might even partake. All right, so because, you know, I've been watching NVIDIA. Not a fan of paying, you know, a lot for these premiums, and because they're a lot, I find myself just taking the profits so early, and then like most of the time the video will do some crazy things, and then like, ah, crap, Henry, you just took $100 profit, freaking ran to like, you know, $300 or $400, whatever it may be. All right, but yeah, I wouldn't be touching BBAI. All right, let's look at crowd for you. I really wouldn't touch that ticker. There's no point. All right, there's not. Till you get a trend, it's just going to do nothing. All right, CrowdStrike. All right, so this is what I was saying. Yeah, it's like flagging going on here. So I like that look, like very much so. You had a false breakout going on over here. It looks like you also did over here. But what I do want to say is price wants to get the fuck out. All right, it wants to get out of this little consolidation pattern you got going on here. And because that's happening, we know that, you know, the imbalance here is on the buy side, which is good. All right, and you know, we don't have the RSI being all the way up here, so you probably do have some more upside. Probably get some upside, break you out, like you're getting right here. All right, get something like that, break and retest. It's probably gonna, you know, most of these moves, guys, end up turning into some form of a break and retest. Like, look at this right here. All right, right here. Let's just like literally pay attention to this. All right, boom, you retested somewhere, and they're not going to be perfect, right? But like, boom, you retested this area to see if sellers were in it. Boom, you retested this area to see if sellers were in it. Over here, what happened? You retested this area to see if sellers were in it. So like, they continuously happen, and like, oh, what? Boom, you retested this area to see if sellers were in it. Like, I'm serious, guys. Break and retest is like hands down. If you want to get good at one strategy, it's the break and retest, because they're going to pop up across the board. It doesn't even matter about TA. It's simple psychology that takes place. Boom. Oh, there's a sell side imbalance. Okay. Before we move it lower and get ready to pay out the troops, let's freaking go back up and test if there's any suckers sitting here, all right? Is there anybody else willing to give us our money? Again, all right? So that's why we get the battles going on here. And then they push it down if there's, you know, not a lot of suckers to bring it back up. Or I read it in one book. I think it was by Anna Collings. It's like candlestick analysis, something. Volume price, VPA, volume price analysis by Anna Collings. I think it's Collings, Anna Cummings, something like that. What these guys do is, maybe it wasn't in that book, but they described like everything that takes place in a specific market, which is just the ticker. We have hundreds of markets on the New York Stock Exchange. They described it as a warehouse, and when you have these, you know, when you want to roll something out, you need to test the waters, and that is pretty much all of these. Like, they sell, they test that part of it. All right, are sellers going to be like, do we have a chance at losing a lot of money here? So we sell it down. So this would be the test right here. All right, so you have this base going on right here. That was your test. Can we get below the support here? Which, that's the test. Okay, our buyers, if I go short here, are buyers about to make me lose my money? That's testing that. All right, then you get the rebound of that level. And this is just testing, hey, are we ready to move into the next phase, where they go even heavier here? Because if they're not, all right, if buyers aren't willing to and bring you back up, then that test is successful. You can then risk more money to, you know, like you could put more on it. You have the second successful test showing that, hey, all right, sellers are prevailing here, buyers are not prevailing here. I don't know why I just went into that, all right, but it's a thing. I'm pretty sure that's exactly why we see this continuous price action. It's every single time. It's because the big guys who really have the money, they have money to sit there and test things. They're like, oh, let me put $100 million on testing if sellers are winning right now. And then if they are, they're like, oh, let me put another $200 million on it. And they, you know, that's how they safely make their money. All right, back into, we'll do these ticker requests to get out of here. All right, let's look at Zoom. All right, ZM over here. Zoom is doing a whole lot of nothing, man. I'm going to be completely honest here. I would not be touching Zoom. You can see right now, you do have this range going on here. I would say something like that. And then right here, so it's at the upper end of your range. Like, even if you tick on above here, I'm just going to say this ain't clean price action, my personal opinion, right? So you got to get above 74.50, which is the high over here, all right? So if you can get above 74.50, you got nothing to like 81 bucks, I'd say. You don't have sellers like clear as day stepping in. So, I mean, that's like the only thing I'd really be paying attention to. If you could break above here, right? You're looking for a pullback somewhere, and then you're getting in on that pullback for a move up to 81. But as far as like, you know, trading this thing, it clearly has not been trending for a very long time. All right, look at this. This is going all the way back to August of 2022. It's done a whole lot of nothing. So ultimately, guys, I would completely just, you know, just avoid tickers like this. There's no reason to. All right, SMCI. All right, that thing has been a volatile ticker. And yes, I do agree. This thing looks juicy. It's actually looking a lot like the indices right now, except it didn't recover as much as it would have if it just moved with we looked at BA, that's on the watch list, but I'll show you what I'm seeing on that. All right, but over here on SMCI, you do have this ugly double bottom going on here. You have the neckline all the way up here, the high of 298.35. Above 298.35, that's actually also your gap resistance, the high over here as well. All right, let's just put that on the chart. 280, what was it, 298.35? Yeah, 298.35. All right, guys, so above that level, you have absolutely nothing until you come up here and fill this gap, which is at the low of 341.03. All right, 341.03. All right, guys, let's make that a green one. If you guys are new to the channel, we have the green lines are always our gap fills. The red lines are support and resistance. And then, yeah, white lines, if I put them on there, those will be trigger levels for like trades. But yeah, you got this ugly double bottom going on. If you break out from it, I assume you're probably going to see something like this. Maybe a little retest in the hourly time frame, or maybe we see it on the daily. Not sure. And then you come up here, go up there. All right, and that's a $40 move. Now, I do know the contracts are hella expensive here, so, you know, they, you know, if you're playing it, you probably got a lot of money to be playing with, and you could afford these safer contracts. But I'm just gonna say right now, all right, if you ain't got deep pockets, if your account's not massive, and you're not willing to buy a $10,000 contract to make it safe, not $10,000. It's gonna be expensive contracts, though, all right. If you're not willing to, I think they're like $1,000 for an in the money contract. Um, um, Inverse head and shoulders. I don't know about that one. All right, because in inverse head and shoulders, you need the like right here. I would just leave this at a double bottom. Just I can see what you're saying. You're saying like right here. Pretty sure, right? Is this what you're getting at right here? You got a left shoulder, you got a head, you got a right shoulder. I could see that. I could see it. I could see it. Well, in that case, all right, you're already getting your breakout because you could disclude this because you open and you just sold through it. So it can't be used as an actual touch point. So yeah, I mean, if you're playing the inverse head and shoulder, you already got your breakout, all right? Your buying is over here, all right? But yeah, ultimately, guys, above 298.35, nothing to 341.03. So if you do get a chance to play that and you got the deep pockets, there you go. You could easily be playing that. And that is pretty much it, guys. All right. Now, if you were to move above here and come back under here and you fail that retest, like, you know, if it's a, you know, if buyers don't show up on the retest, that is when, you know, I wouldn't be sitting here long on this thing. These are very expensive contracts. If you're not, again, like comfortable with seeing thousands of dollars go out your pocket here, you know, I was paying attention to this thing after it had its big gap down. The premiums are crazy expensive. And yeah, you get, you know, they move in accordance with the stock. All right. So like, it's not like you're not going to make money, but they demolish, the weeklies get demolished so easily on this. So that is at least what I noticed. All right, so there's that. Let's look at Meta. Yeah, I like Meta. Meta's looking good, all right? Ugly double bottom going on. You just broke out, but you couldn't do it with the daily close. So that's what I want to point out there, right? But if you want you have that level going on right there, and you pretty much just did a break and retest, look, like, because, you know, this one gapped above it, so it's not like, you know, an actual touch point. Look at that. Break and retest going on right there. Let's check out the hourly time frame. All right, look at that. All right, so like I do like the action here. All right, but I don't like that you are stalling out right here at the high. All right, which is 299.46. All right, you want to see buyers step in and get you above there before really committing along on this name here. But I will point out, all right, very similar to what we had on SPY and QQ before you went on a massive run. You get this bull flag going on this little consolidations happening in a bull flag, man. You actually have a pretty similar look going on over here. That's something to point out as well. All right. But I was referring to this over here. All right. You had this little bull flag going on right here at resistance. And then, you know, like Meta's right here at resistance. Use right here. All right. That's your zone. Above there, guys, you got nothing until you come all the way back up here to 307-ish. All right. Let's see if we find a daily touch point here. Yeah, daily. Yeah, 307.23. All right, so we're looking at that above what we just pointed out. All right, if you could start breaking above here, 299.46, you get a daily close above here, you're likely going straight to 307.23 and likely going to start trending back up. All right, I know a lot of these have gotten bigger bounces. All right, but you know, guys, we've seen a lot of catch up this year, like across different names. If some name didn't participate as much, we'll see like them, you know, have quite their day. All right, Amazon over here. Well, I remember over here, I don't think the whole market was consolidating here. I think it was just Amazon doing a whole lot of nothing. And then boom, consolidated for a while. You finally had a big day right there. So we could see some catch up over here out of Meta. All right, Microsoft is also another one that's not really it's not rallying too much here. All right. Those meta. Let's look at SOX L. All right, SOX L. So another name with this ugly double bottom going on here. You have the neckline being here or here, whichever way you want to put it. But if you do want to do it right here, I do want to point out right off the bat, you have this strong activity going on. Break and retest. You can see with this hammer candlestick right here. In the hourly, yeah, you broke and retested it right there. All right. So I do like the look of this over here, but I do want to point out if the broader indices, you know, not just these, but, you know, SPY and QQ, if this ends up, if they end up pulling back, this thing's 110%. It's going to pull back with everything. All right. If you really want to play chips, I would be watching this breakout over here on AMD. I'm actually going to set an alert on that trend line right now. All right. Bar. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, once per bar. All right. This is one that, like, if it breaks out, you're probably going to see a wave of buyers step into all of the chip stocks. And if that's going to be the case, that's what I was saying earlier with NVIDIA. Probably not going to be leading the next run. It would probably be AMD who's going to be leading it, considering this chart is just undeniably bullish. Like, who's going to look at this chart and be like, yeah, this isn't a very sexy setup. All right. So, like, if you're playing SMH, if you're playing this over here, all right, I would really just be paying attention to the individual tickers, because those are going to dictate where this thing goes. But yeah, you got this, you got your neckline over here at $23 ish. You got nothing on this chart, and oh, let me just do that. You got nothing on this chart until the high of this candlestick, which was 25.78. all right, only off by a cent there, 25.78. And then the next level above there is going to be all the way up here, the high of this one, which is at 28.72. All right. So, like, you know, do with this info with what you will. All right. You got a bullish structure going on here. You got your double bottom, broke out from the double bottom, retested it. All right. Are you going to get another, like, a stronger retest that takes some more time here? Maybe. All right. What I also want to point out here is you have decreasing volume on this rally. So that's not good. All right, that is not something you would like to see, but it's not the end of the world here. It's not like terrible volume. But yeah, the upward level above 23 bucks. You get the door open to 26 bucks, just about there, 26, you know. And then 28.72. That is the level to be paying attention to over here. All right, let's look. Yeah, shop is one I was trying to catch the bottom of when I was doing that, and then, you know, as of now, it's going absolute berserker. All right, you can see right here, this is like a little inverse head and shoulders formation going on here. I'm sure on the hourly time frame that looks pretty apparent. Yeah, going on right there, there. All right, so you got that going on. That is something that it has going for it. All right, so that's the basing pattern that got put in. As of right here, you were in a daily uptrend as well. All right, you had the higher low, then you broke out through the high right here of 57.17. Boom, off the races. All right, and now you're coming back up to the high. All right, so this is where sellers stepped in before. I will not be surprised at all to see sellers step in right here again. All right, so we're going to delete all this stuff. Now that's not going to be relevant. Clean up our chart here. All right, you do have this gap that was not filled all the way down here. All right, so that's something to be paying attention to here. All right, but yeah, here on the weekly chart, guys, I'm just saying, like, it was not looking the best. You don't like the fact that, you know, you have this low here, you have a high, boom, higher low. All right, well, you had this high, this low here, higher high, higher low, higher high. You came down, you took out both these lows. So this is the first time it's happened since the low over here. So I do want to point out that's, you know, a room for concern. But you got increasing volume going on here with this big green candlestick. So I don't think things are looking the worst. I really don't. It's not volume like this, right? You had like double over here, 168 mil. Over here you had 70. So yeah, literally more than double. But yeah, I do like the setup on shop. Where though? Where would I buy into this monster? Well, you're getting sellers clearly stepping up here with this doji candlestick going on. I would be waiting for a move all the way down here to 61.25, which I think was the open of this. Yeah, all right, the open, yeah, 61.25. So I'd be waiting for a move all the way back down there to 61 before even thinking about going long on this thing. You clearly can see sellers are right here. If you do get up above this level right here, all right, which is the high from this candlestick right there, 67.36. Let's just see if we got that right. Yes, we do. So if you can get above 67.36, that's when you likely come back up and retest this high up here, which will be up at 71.43. So that is something that you could be paying attention to. But like I'm saying, don't be swing trading this thing to the long side as you are seeing evidence that sellers are stepping in there. I would be doing the short-term trade in here with your short-term contracts, just playing literally for a move up to 61.43 if you can get above 67.36. Now, you want to, wait for the pullback, ride the wave, it's going to be all the way down here at 61.25. And that is the point when you can buy some dated contracts, all right, or something like that. All right, and you're going for a move all the way back up here. All right, and then probably above. All right, so we got that. Let's do, what do we got? Thanks for the TA. Can you please look at Tesla, D-King, AMD? We did that. We did shop. We got to do FTCH. Where's FTCH? Oh, I remember this one. No. Stop playing this. Stop it. Stop it. Don't hurt yourself. That is what this is going to bring, all right? Why has this been declining since before March 2020, all right, guys? There's no reason to be playing something like this. It wasn't even the big drop that caused the low, guys. This thing is continuous mid lows. Stop playing things like this. There's no reason, all right? After every single run here you've had for the past few years, you've came down to make a new low. Just stop playing it. All right, I'm being straight up. There's no reason to even touch things like this, all right? If you want 100% gains because you think like people think options are really risky. Well, guess what? If you're someone who plays stocks and you don't need the short-term gratification, all right? Why didn't you buy October 20 calls on Apple over here when you you saw your boy just shouting out every single day on his YouTube channel, like, hey guys, Apple's downside is extremely limited. Like, I'm talking, we could go like $5 down, but like, you're gonna be finding a major bottom. Then you're gonna have like a $10 to $20 move. Like when you see things like that, like just and you don't have this short term like need, and you don't want to be a short term trader, just buy like 2 to 3 months out on something, buy in the money, and just wait for it. You'll get your 100 to 200%. This move probably gave October contracts, if you started buying here at 180-ish, all right, not even 180, it's 178. This was this major support here. If you started buying there, you would have seen like $5 to $6 of more downside, and then maybe you buy in a little bit more, all right, and then you probably just got paid like 200+% going on here, all right, and that was before you even like averaged down over here. So if you like, I'm just like trying to say right now, there's no reason to be playing these small cap, micro cap dump and pumps or pump and dumps. There's absolutely no reason to even touch them. If you want safe money, wait till you have every single daily RSI almost at 30 and then start longing with like a lot of date. Like if you're buying SPY contracts, I'm talking buy the October contracts, buy the November contracts if you want. All right, if you don't care about having these crazy, insane gains on these moves, then you can afford to buy time, and then you can just sit on your hands until you get paid. All right, like if I had to go back throughout the past 2 years, I would do that exact same thing. All right, I would do exactly what I just described. I would do that. I would try and catch the major swings with a lot of time on my contracts. All right, and I'm not saying, oh, wait for the next put swing once you see the weekly RSI up here. No, that was not a working strategy going on here, right? I'm talking you're waiting on the daily time from here to catch the big trend going on, which over back at 22, it was the downtrend. You clearly just saw, you couldn't make a higher high and a higher low until made a higher high here, higher low. All right. Over here, equivalent high to that bad boy over here, higher low. Broke above it. You now have a higher high compared to over there, and you had your higher low. Then boom, you had a higher low, and then this really confirmed it. You were seeing much higher prices. All right, you see the trend over here. Wait to play the trend over here, and buy your 2 to 3 months out on the indices. Like that's literally just that's a working strategy. All right. I think we covered everything. We got to look at your USD, and then we got to look at VRNT. All right, so let's take a look at that real quick. Yeah, I don't really look at these things. I really don't. But if I had to, point this out here, all right, you do have a lot of selling volume going on here. I don't like that. All right, so you got a lot of selling volume here on the weekly time frame, as you see in this dip. Why is it higher than this over here? I don't know. All right, so I don't know about the fundamentals going on over here. Hey, good to see you too, Trap Mogul. Good to see you. All right. But yeah, high volume sellers on this dip, but I do want to point out, if it's going to be similar to what's happened the past 3 dips like this, you're about to see a rebound. It looks very similar to what's happened over here. All right. But I do want to point out, you have this higher seller volume, so like you could just be, longing into a falling knife. But yeah, I don't touch these things. If I do, have anything to say on the smaller time frames, guys, all right, on the daily in this case, if you break through down here, you have absolutely nothing holding you up until you come all the way down here. Now, I know that's not a big move, but I'm guessing if you're trading these things, you're not looking for big moves. All right, that is a 1% move. Is that big to you, whoever trades this? I guess so, but that is really what I'm paying attention to. You had this major low over here. Guess what? You came back, you took that out. That's not a good look either. You're definitely in a daily downtrend right now. The weekly, you can see there are a lot of sellers, high volume sellers stepping up. I would say it's safe to say this is very likely getting broken. You're likely coming down here to the support. You probably find buyers stepping in here at the support, considering the daily RSI is going to be all the way down at oversold territory as well. All right, next one we will take a look at is going to be VRNT. I used to play this thing as well. All right, VRNT. So this is another one, just like I was pointing out, Zoom. No reason. Yes, we can do BA. We could definitely. I was waiting to do NVIDIA and BA. Let's do it. But yeah, VRNT. This is another one that I would not be touching. Why is this thing going absolutely nowhere in a very long time here, as the market has completely ripped faces for months now? I got no idea, all right? It's been like a year since the market started ripping upwards, all right? Why is this thing not doing anything of the sort, all right? Not a good sign. I would not be touching it. But I do want to point out, you're making a new low down here. If you break this low, which is all the way down at 31.63, so you're very close to that. If you break that, you got nothing. I'm talking nothing until you get all the way down here to 29 bucks. And like, if you're looking on the weekly time frame, you break down through this could just be used as like a bear flag, a very big bear flag going on here. It took like a year to form. You got that going on right there. All right, you break down from that. Your next real major low here on the weekly time frame that we could really see, you got one going on right here. You got one going on right there. That's 26 and 23 bucks. I wouldn't be caught holding the bag on this thing. I don't think there's any reason to trade this thing. I just went over how like if you're patient, all right, if you're used to trading shares, then I assume you're probably more patient than option traders. But a winning strategy is, identify the longer term trend, wait for your pullbacks. All right. You can wait for this daily RSI to get to oversold territory. And every single time since the bear market, that is when you've marked your bottoms. Even over here, if you were buying date, yeah, you would have gotten slaughtered for like 2 weeks here. All right. If you're buying date, like I'm talking 2-3 months out, and you just held the bag, I'm talking, you would have made so much money if you got to, let's say you started buying in when your RSI got oversold. All right. Now, yes, you would have averaged down because you would have been like, holy jeez, I'm already losing my ass. Let me lose my ass some more. It's got to work. It's got to work at this point. And then, boom, you start buying in here. All right. Start buying in right here. That's where your RSI was like, okay, it was actually like starting right here. All right. Regardless. All right, guys, you give it a few weeks. It's 55 bars, so that's 2 months. All right, there you go. You would have been back up. You bought 3 months. All right, you probably actually would still be down money, but it wouldn't be so bad. That's during your market crash. All right, anytime outside of the market crash, you have caught a bottom if you bought this thing with the daily RSI near oversold territory. Every single other time besides your market crashes. All right, guys, you got this. It's dancing around there for like 2 weeks. You got this. Nope. You got this. Nope. You got this. Nope. Like all of these were great buying opportunities. You do what I just described. You guys, you're sitting pretty with a couple 100% on your money that you just get to, swing for weeks on end. All right. Did I play the Dell earnings? I did not play Dell earnings. No. Over here, caught the bottom. Over here, caught the bottom. All right. Oh, revisited over here. Right? Oh, caught the second bottom. All right, over here, caught the bottom. All right, guys. So like, that's really what I'd be doing. All right, that is what I'd be doing. Yeah, let's do NVIDIA and then BA. All right, NVIDIA. So I already talked about this. NVIDIA right here, very clean price action going on. Underneath here, underneath the zone we got going on right here. Make that perfect. It would be right there. Underneath that, there's nothing until coming all the way down to 370. So I think that's probably, yeah, or 470. That's where I think you're probably gonna just go down to now that we are bear flagging right here. All right, so that's what I would be paying attention to. You also do have this head and shoulders formation going on right there. That going to be right there. All right, regardless, underneath the zone here, which bottoms out at like 484-ish, you're going to 470. All right, that is the only thing I'd be paying attention on NVIDIA. If you are going to be trading NVIDIA, it's worth paying attention over here to AMD as well. This AMD chart is so much sexier looking. It looks like it's getting ready for, boom, another big few gap ups going on here. All right, so there's that. All right, last thing we will take a look at is BA. Let's actually, before we do that, let's look at Dell. What happened to Dell? Dell earnings, wow, up 20%. That is cool. That is cool. And I can't imagine Dell premiums being juiced either. So that's probably big winners over there. Big winners on the Dell option chain then, right? Damn, that's crazy. Dell is like really a slow mover. Cool. All right. Yeah, no, that's cool. Congrats if you did end up playing that. I would definitely consider, locking that in. All right. Daily RSI is high up in the sky at 81 right now. Last time you saw a reading like that is right up here, 80. It's 81. I know it's there. I see it. All right, but it was right there at your top, and then you pulling off. All right, BA. That is the last one we will take a look at right here. All right, as you see, I got a lot already on BA. But I do want to point out. All right, I just believe those arrows. What were those arrows? Those were these. All right, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So bull structure going on over here at BA. You're literally back here at your heavily traded zone. It is being treated as a demand zone. That's why we got these wicks going on right there. All right, and this is where I would be risking along. You would be risking it going something like, maybe you're risking right here, risking a move underneath there. You're going for a move up to here. All right, I understand not the best risk to reward ratio. Regardless, I think the setup calls for a move all the way up here. All right, that's where the risk to reward ratio comes in hand. Obviously, if you catch a move from 223 all the way up here, let's say you have 2 contracts, you take 1 off here, you ride 1. Or if you have 3, you take 2 off here, you ride 1. You probably are going to be up like, let's say you play the September 15 contract, all right, from here to here, you're probably going to be up to 300%. So why are you not going to lock in 2/3 or at least 1/2 of those contracts? That's how I'm looking at it. Regardless, all right, you see move up here, you're up a lot more. All right, I like Boeing with dated contracts. I like Boeing with short-term contracts. I think the setup is intriguing. All right, you got this big long wick down here. I know you can't really see it with all my arrows right there. Let's just take that off. See, you got this big long lower weekly wick going on here. You do have this upper weekly wick. All right, so like above here, above 231, you have the breakout from this inverse head and shoulders. That's when I think things get real juicy here pretty quick. And you have a quick $7.50 move all the way up to 238-ish. Is up here. All right, so that's pretty much it on BA. I don't like it if it loses this 220-ish area right here. All right, this is where, this was your heavily traded zone. If you get under there, your next stop is going to be, see where this wick was? All right, well, why did buyers step in there? Because that was literally around over here, right? I know that like the actual level would be down here, but you can just put a zone here. And just like we have this heavily traded zone going on up here, well, guess what? This was where, that was where the battle was going on over there. And if you draw it around, all right, you have a lot of action going on over here, right? So like underneath here, you're going to get sucked back down here. And that's why I would place it. I would definitely have a stop underneath like 220. All right. That would just be my, that's what I would 100% be doing. All right. But I really like the setup. All right, guys, you came back, you back tested this pennant, back tested this on the weekly time frame. Let's just look at where that, this long lower wick stems from. All right, guys, it's from this downtrend. So you broke out from this inverse head and shoulders formation here on the weekly time frame, broke out, retested. You're probably going to see some more upside if I had to take a bet on it. I think that is exactly what we're going to be seeing. All right, guys. So with that being said, thank you guys all for being here with me. Thank you for sharing this Sunday morning with me. I know it ran like an hour 30 right there. I thought we were going to get done sooner. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a good time with you guys, and I will catch you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your